I've always believed in living my life with purpose. I think as a kid, I was really quiet. I was good at math and science, so I was told a lot of times, you should be an engineer. And so that's where I started in college, but I didn't feel like I fit. So I was exploring and ended up taking an education class. And it was the first class I had where the analytical part of my brain wasn't just focused on something that was mathematical, but something that also mattered.
I didn't always want to go into education. I thought that a life of politics was the trajectory that I was going to be on. Right out of college, I got a job with the US Department of Health and Human Services, but then my partner accepted a full ride scholarship to the University of Washington School of Medicine. So we decided to relocate from one Washington to another. I was really hoping to follow in my mom's footsteps and teach government or civics, but when I came to Washington, there were no opportunities to teach those types of things. What was available was teaching second grade.
I grew up in a pretty small town in Montana and was like, this is my shot. I'm gonna live in a big city. But I got placed in Eastern Washington, so a lot more rural. Teacher turnover was a pretty big problem. All the time we would get asked, are you gonna be here next year? Are you gonna come to our graduation? I think our kids just didn't believe that it was a place anyone thought was worth living in. I just remember thinking I'm gonna figure out a way to help convince my kids that they matter and this place matters.
So my first year teaching, I had this student. Others were saying, he won't say much, he doesn't talk, just do your best. And that made me incredibly nervous. I noticed that he had a Pokemon backpack. I'm a huge nerd and love Pokemon, and just starting there, we built conversation around our common interests. And had I not taken the time to learn about what he was into, I would have never built the relationship that proved to be instrumental in getting him to where he is academically today.
My third year teaching, my brother and his wife had a son, and a month after, he ended up in intensive care. I just remember feeling so isolated. And I realized if I want to be a great teacher and I want to be able to be there for my kids, I needed to make family here. And then I met my husband, Kyle, and his family is here. So now my family is here too. To be able to say, I'm not from here and I chose to stay. And not just chose to stay, but want to continue to grow here and have my own family here, sends that message that this isn't a place you can just give up on. It's actually a great place to be, and I want to choose to be here.
The statistics tell us that for young people of color, if they're not reading by the third grade, they are exponentially more likely to end up involved with a criminal justice system in some capacity. I'm fighting for the future of my students. I want to be a mirror for my students. I want my kids and their families to know that there is someone who looks like them, who's always going to be in their corner, who's going to show up every single day ready to work and ready to learn. The relationships that I've been able to form with my students over the past several years have been probably the most fulfilling piece of my life, because I know that it makes a difference for them.
People matter and relationships matter. And I think the greatest thing we all have is each other.
Your relationship with your student is the primary building block for everything that happens in the classroom.
I believe that I have to make a difference. I'm no longer just thinking about the next year. I'm thinking about the next 10 or 20. What is my impact gonna be?
It's given me the opportunity to make an impact in a way that no other profession could. Because the real change doesn't happen on Capitol Hill. It happens in the classroom every single day.